Development hell is where most projects go to die. I don't know what the ratio is, but it's probably worse than 10-1 in terms of projects developed to finally made, whether the director is one of the writers or not. And it's always heartbreaking. Once you get that screenplay to that point where, it's been greenlit, a lot of things have to happen at once. Your screenplay is advanced to the point where there's a studio, there's an investor, there's a network, somebody is saying, okay, go make it. And, at this point, you spring into action because as soon as you get a yes, you don't want to fool around. You want to go. That means you begin bringing on your collaborators. You're going to need a line producer, a production manager, the people who are going to handle the logistics of the movie. That's not uncreative. It's in fact very creative. And the screenplay never stops evolving because now that blueprint needs to become something that's practical, and they need to become the plans for that's something that can be executed. Very often, there's already a budget range that is sort of projected onto the project. There's already been an estimate as to what a project like this ought to cost, given the format that you're producing it on. And your goal then is to begin to understand the viability of that number as it relates to this project. It's a logistical hassle, but it's also a very important creative question that's going to continue to inform the choices that a director must make. You need a production designer. That production designer is very important. That's a key collaborator because the look, the aesthetic is going to be dictated in large part by the places you shoot. I've come to understand that even the greatest cinematographers need good locations, and they're always the first ones to tell you. It's about lighting, but it's about lighting a space. And if that space is not supporting the potential of the scene, then it's not the right space, and there's very little a cinematographer can do about it. The director's understanding of what the goals are for that scene becomes so important. If the director doesn't have a ready answer, it doesn't take long in a conversation with the cinematographer and the first assistant director to begin to understand what the goals are aesthetically, dramatically, emotionally, thematically. And they can begin working with you to develop a visual approach. And that's the sort of excitement of building out from the screenplay and preparing for those days of shooting where there's going to be tremendous pressure, money being spent at a ridiculous rate, and a kind of moment of truth for the director, the actors, the cinematographer, and all the people who are kind of on the front line of actually trying to stage and shoot those scenes. Of course, you always feel like that's the be-all, end-all. The reality is the editing room is really where the film is made, but you can't think about that at that point. You go through the production. You've done everything you can to try to capture every moment that you could, elevating that script, either realizing its potential or maybe taking it beyond. That's exciting. Using the elements that come to you, whether it's rain or snow or sun, or a great idea that an actor has, or a sudden a sudden problem that seems like it's should destroy the scene, but maybe there's another solution that actually takes you in a whole other direction. You do everything you can to get the ideas that live in your mind and on those script pages inside those frames, those frame lines. That's what's important. Well, now you think you've done it. You've got you have your wrap party. You feel pretty darn good about yourself, and yet the real work is just beginning. You might be dog tired, you might have the flu, but it's time to go to the editing room. And in the editing room, you are going to take this raw material, and it's the final rewrite, and it's the actual making of the movie.
I'm not a good enough actor anymore to be able to stand up here and make you believe that that I haven't imagined this moment in my mind over the years and played it out about 1,000 times.